The reason why men are so hell-bent on dominance and social status is because they've been genetically engineered to reject their feminine. And that's why they need to extort it in some way in order to establish a false idea of balance. See, the truth of the matter is not that men are incapable of holding the wisdom of the feminine, but their womb has literally been turned inside out to a point where they don't have one. So then there is an establishment or a boundary that exists. And in order for them to penetrate that boundary, or for the feminine to open up and release her wisdom unto him, he has to provide some form of offering, because the wisdom of the womb is the altar that allows him to receive. And see, the significance of him being without a womb and having that mutated X chromosome, that means that when he gains access to certain levels of consciousness, then he has to work that much harder in order to maintain his internal homeostasis. And so the ego, just like the male, which we think of as the masculine, but the masculine is really just action. I talk about that in other videos. You can go to my word spell playlist. But the male being the inverted womb, or the inverted version of the womb man, the male also represents the embodiment of the ego as well. And so when you don't give offerings in exchange for the wisdom that you have been granted access to, then he collapses into his ego, which makes him the narcissist too. And so the significance of this is that we think that people like Rashad Jamal, Malachi York, and Young Pharaoh were collapsed because people out there were looking to attack them because of the information that they put out. And because the unintegrated ego suffers from the main character syndrome, it creates this interference within his nervous system that gaslights him through this narcissistic programming and tells him that because he now has access to this wisdom that the feminine has unlocked for him, that he has the power to extract that wisdom directly without giving anything in return. And so in return, we start to see his life reflect the broken covenant that he has with the feminine, because without providing that offering and allowing her to open up voluntarily to provide what he needs in order to manifest, a wrath is unleashed upon him, and then that feminine that he's extracting from turns into darkness. And this is why patriarchy inverted the idea of God as a male, because patriarchy wants us to think that the feminine at its core is only love, light, and nurturing, when the feminine is actually the one that makes or breaks the spell. You see, the reason why there's such a pattern in male leaders rising and in their life going to hell is that what we don't realize is the people that we think are out to get them is only a reflection of the fact that they already have spiritually gotten themselves.